So, welcome to All Parts from Within. My name is Ishwar. I help people expand their consciousness and accomplish any goal beyond their wildest dreams. Now, just addressing this issue that some people are unable to have consistency in doing their workouts. Sometimes just merely calisthenics, and others like dumbbells or even deadlifts. I've been told that they've, struggled with cramps and lesions like that. Some people, so that makes them feel apprehensive about going back into even if starting push-ups. So I'm going to suggest that you, as I've already mentioned, you need to pick a time and stay consistent with it. Okay. And in order to do that, you need to have overall discipline in your whole routine and lifestyle. Remember that how you do anything is how you do everything. Therefore, you also need to reorganize I would say this is really paramount. Not only, obviously, it's going to be of huge help with building your muscles up. This is going to also help you in all other areas of life. Again, this rule of thumb of how you do anything. You need to re-establish, if you haven't had for a while, then maybe for the first time, which is going to be a little harder. You need to establish some, let's say, a very strict sleep routine. And I'm going to give you a couple of tips for that. If you need to remember this, your circadian rhythm, it kind of directs you to have an expectation to fall asleep. This is like a very primitive thing that we have in our brain. That is, if you stop eating anything, and preferably drinking anything, but I'll go into that a little bit further. If you stop eating anything 16 hours before the time that you expect to wake up the next day, then you would gradually adjust, not overnight obviously, but you'll gradually adjust your sleep hours to in between those 16 hours. Like if you are not too ravenous, then you'd be probably falling asleep around after the 8 hours or 7 hours when you stop sleeping, which is not too far from your habitual time if you have one. So that's one very important tip. You can also use several other aids to this. However, now I'm going to explain the thing about the liquids. You could, if you take milk, if you take anything that might have lactose or any other protein or whatever, then obviously that's not, that interrupts two things. That is, you're not exactly doing the interruption for the circadian rhythm, or if you're doing intermittent fasting, then you're just ruining it just by the fact that you are taking in even a coffee with milk. Okay, so you can take drinks, you can take, in the worst cases, some very light smoothies, just with some very light vegetables like cucumber and stuff like that. That is a lot. For me personally, it helps me a lot with when I'm keeping up with this timetable, just 16-hour window not to eat. Therefore, I would take warm teas. That helps me a lot. Besides that, you can also, before you go to bed, have a cold shower and then wrap yourself up, depending where you're living. If you don't need to wrap yourself up, wrapping yourself up in a very warm rug is just an additional thing to make you fall asleep. If your body temperature is comfortable, then that'll help you to fall asleep. It won't be the overnight fix. And besides that, you can also think about if you have a very boring book, you start reading that, and kind of like not necessarily hunched over or anything. Just in a very comfortable position where you are, you can just literally fall over to your bed. When it gets very, very boring, you just fall asleep. That helps. And there's also this hand gesture I've explained. In this hand, with the right, your dominant hand, you make this gesture, and you have to place it exactly in the center of the palm of your other hand. And this works incredibly well. Obviously, it'll take at least a few minutes to yield results, but what you have to do is you place it there, your back being straight. If you want to lie down and do it, that's perfectly okay. And you, with your eyes closed, you start counting your breath and putting all your attention on inhalation and exhalation while holding it like that. Okay, so this is a very obvious thing, but I would suggest not taking coffees or fizzy drinks or anything like that at least 6 hours before you go to bed. So if you establish a proper sleep routine for about 66 days, that's definitely going to help you with muscle definition, and also it will help you in so many other areas of your life. You'll be a lot more disciplined, you'll be a lot more organized than you've always been. Okay, so share it with people you care about, and like and subscribe, and talk to you soon. God bless.